Hello, everyone. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. We're going to be painting some bunny ears and flowers. Hi, Miss Terry. I'm just getting myself situated here while y'all come on. Hi, Sue. We're painting on an 8 by 20 canvas tonight. Hi, Deborah. Get myself comfortable here. I'm not very comfortable. What's going on? All right. So, how's everybody doing? Again, bad choice of shirts tonight. I'm a little warmish, so excuse me if I get a little flushed. All right, so I think we're just gonna head right on into this. I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan for colors. I don't have a plan for anything. We're just gonna paint it and see how it comes out. So I think I'm gonna do a multicolor background. I'm gonna do one coat with some buttermilk just to give it a base. And then we're gonna add some color to it. Good here too, Terry. Good here. All right, gals. I'm going to move my face here in a second. I'm just getting my base coat on while I talk to y'all and let you get on here. So not missing anything crazy. We're just putting a coat of buttermilk on here just to cover my canvas. But I will move my face because this is a long canvas and I'm in the way. So I will move it in a second. Everybody hear me all right tonight? I think we're good for internet connection this evening. I'm not going to worry about my sides right now just because we're on a live. We can do those after. I just want to do my front side. Now, I don't think I'm going to keep this buttermilk. I think I'm going to add a little white into my next coat just to tone this down a little bit. I'm not sure I'm liking that yellowy kind of look there, but we will see how it goes. All right. Good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to move my face. Hi, Judy. Hi, Deanna. I'm going to move my face here so that we can see what's happening under here. Oh, Miss Karina. So I'll still be in there we go. Just take my face out of there so you can see all of it. The whole dang thing. So I think I'm just going to throw some colors onto my plate here. Let's see if I can kind of situate this so that you can see all what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to add some, what is this, Bahama blue. Let's get some pink in there. I'm going to add some white to my plate. What other colors? Got a little green in there, maybe. A little green too. Let's just make it. Let's just go crazy. Hi, Janet. Hi, Lisa. All right, so we got those funky colors. So I got a few different colors here on my plate. I'm going to add some more of this buttermilk on here and some white. And I think I'm going to tone, like I said, I'm going to tone this down a bit on my second coat. So I'm just going to grab some, this is still kind of wet, which is marvelous because I want to be able to blend this down a little bit. Now, you guys probably won't be able to see this. I have a lot of lights on tonight. Until I dry it, it'll probably be a little shiny for you to see, but once I dry it, you'll be able to see a little bit better. It gets a little bit of a glare on it when I put too many lights on. We're painting some bunny ears and flowers on an 8 by 20 canvas. And like I said, I haven't painted this before. Want some purple in there? Let me see if I got some purple. Purple. I probably do somewhere here. Let me see. Let me just find a purple for you. All right, here's some purple. Let's throw some of this purple in here. Request for purple. I have dioxazine purple in my hand. I probably should have picked a royal purple, but this was closest, so we're going to use it. That will work. All right, so let's carry on here. These bunny ears will probably cover up most of this canvas anyways, but we will mix some of these colors in here. I'm just going to wet my brush just a smidge. All right, let's start by grabbing some white and a little bit of that Bahama blue. I like to do multicolored backgrounds a lot. I think they just kind of look fun. Things a little different. So I'm just kind of mixing that all in there without any rhyme or reason. Just kind of slip slapping that on there. I want a little more blue over here. Get a little blendy here. And maybe we'll see what this green looks like over in here. Like I said, we're just putting it on there. We're not getting too crazy about where it goes either. Let's throw a whole whack of green up there. All right, I think I drowned it out, my little bit of my pink, so I'm going to add some more in there. So when you're doing these kinds of backgrounds, again, there's no real rule. Get some of that paint off of my, just kind of slip slap that in there wherever you like. I'm just trying to be very light with it because I'm kind of pulling it off. All right, get a little more blue in that little spot. And we're just going to carry on down the way. So let's throw a little bit of this purple in here, see how that goes. And like I said, our bunny ears will be here. So, I mean, we're going to see most of it on the sides here and wherever it kind of peeks through the rest of our design. I think I might have this a little wet for this blending, but we're going to persevere. I'm not going to worry too much about down in here as opposed to in there. Okay, so far so good. I'm kind of liking it. So let's see. Let's throw a little green and get some of this purple off of here. Well, the trick is to not overwork it so it doesn't look like mud, because it can very well happen to you if you overwork it too much. And if you get too much paint on your brush, you have to just remember to kind of wipe it off every once in a while, because it can get a little saturated with all the different paints in there. So we're just very light touch. I'm going to blend that into these colors. Try and get my brush strokes out of there. I actually just mixed, I just have some white and a little bit of buttermilk over here. So I'm kind of dipping into my white and then the color, and it just mutes it down a little bit when we start to paint it down, Jen. So I'm dipping into my blue now and a little white. So when I put it on here, it's going to be, let me get a little more white so I don't lie to you. It's going to mute it down because we're kind of mixing it down with some white. Let's put a little pink on this corner. All right, so we just got to get over in here, and maybe we'll add, what will we add? A little bit of purple down there, maybe. Trying to get it so we don't have the colors all kind of together. We want to make them all a little bit different all over the place. And like I said, I'm just winging this, just experimenting and playing around with this. So we're just seeing what we're going to come up with. We have this little spot right here, and I probably could throw a little bit of pink in there just to fill in that tiny little spot. Like I said, we might not see a whole lot of it because our bunny ears will be on there. But let's give this a whirl and we'll dry it and see how it comes out. But I'm liking it already. So let's dry that up. And so far, so good. Let's see how how my bunny ears turn out. I drew them quick. I don't even really know if they're that great, but we're going to put them on there anyway. So as this dries, you're going to see it a little bit better on your screen because you can see the glare going away as it dries. I have my big lights on up here, so it makes quite a bit of glare on there. And I have a lot of paint on here, so it might take a hot minute to dry this. Winging It Wednesdays, it's the best. And I probably should have called it Winging It Wednesdays instead of Workshop Wednesdays, Judy. That's a good name, Winging It Wednesdays. All right, so we're going to get some heat up here at the top. So I think I'm going to make this one a digital file, meaning that you can get the template in a digital file on my Shopify store. And if you are a Paint Party Playground member, do not purchase because I will post this for free into the group for you all. Members will get the line drawing free. But if you are not a member, I will put the template up. If you like it, we'll see how it happens, how it goes. Things are going my way just fine, Terry, if that's what you were asking me. Just fine. All right, still pretty wet, so we're still drying. Still drying. We might be here for a little bit. It's pretty soppy. Won't be able to put on my line drawing until, yeah, I can feel a lot of moisture in there still. All right. I suppose I could pop my ugly mug back down there. There we go. While we're drying things. I still feel it looks very Eastery. That's kind of where I was hoping it was going to go too, Jan. Let's hope that's what it is. All right, that's getting a little better. Just worried about this. Back to work for you tomorrow. Oh yeah, I'm on a 7-day stretch again, so I feel you, girl. I feel ya. No, it's not the same thing, Cheryl. The monthly paint and palette box is a whole separate subscription from the Paint Party Playground membership. Whole separate thing. The paint and palette box is one design per month, and you can purchase the actual physical kit that I send out to you. The membership is 3 designs per month, plus all of the extra stuff that I give you guys, and 2 separate things. All right, I think we're almost there. I'm thinking it's feeling good. Feeling good. So there, you can see. Now let me get rid of me again. So now you can see the colors a little bit better. Still a little wet over here as I take the heat off of it. Just making sure. I think we're gonna persevere. I think we're gonna go ahead and get the ears on here. So no judgment of my ears, okay? Because this was like a super rough drawing. But we're gonna do it anyway. So I think what I want to do, I think I'm gonna put them about there, because I want to put some flowers and things down here at the base of the ears. So I think that spot should be pretty good. Oh, I see what you're saying. All right, let's get these traced on here. I'll stop fidgeting with them. Hello, Miss Cecile, how are you? And let's get these little guys on our surface. All right, we'll start over here. Get these little devils on here. This is a really long canvas, so I feel like I'm reaching a lot. We'll do these top parts, and then we'll have to move the graphite down a little bit. Let me just have a little peek up in here. Okay, we're all right. We're good. All is well. I got the right side of the graphite. Done that many times. I like this canvas size too. It's kind of an off size. And to be completely honest with you, I found this at one of our local independent dollar stores. So I'm not certain if you could get this from Michael's. It's 8 by 20. It's kind of a little bit of an off size. Oh, did you get some from Michael's? Oh, good, Jan. So there, you answered my question right there, if you can get them from Michael's. So that's kind of good. That is cool. I like that. Because it's kind of a fun size. All right, let me have a little peek up in here. Okay, I think we're all right. I'm just gonna hold on to this and move this down just a smidge so we can get these bottom parts. Not sure about where I have to be, but close enough. Hopefully I didn't move my paper too much. Good enough. All right, I think we're in business. So they're sort of on there, as such as they are. This one I might have to straighten up a little bit. We got a little wonky over there, but that's all right. We can do that. So let's do the centers first. We'll do that with a little bit of blush pink, my favorite pink. Let's grab a flat brush. Oh, I'm very good, Cecile. Thank you. All right, so let's get some of this in here. Oh, my canvas is still a little bit cool on the cool side, so not completely dry yet. So we did well to get that graphite to work on that. Sometimes when it still has a little bit of moisture in there, it doesn't like to transfer. So we lucked out. Oh, I'm sure, Carol, like if you're anything like the rest of us, you got one of everything somewhere. You just have to find it. I have so much stuff too, and it's like time to start purging, I think. It's just ridiculous in here. But I can't stop myself from buying more. I feel like a hoarder on some days. Ridiculous. I'm trying to find my number 4 round. There you are, my friend. All right. So let's get up in this little point here. Now, I haven't decided. I kind of like the idea of doing white ears. What do y'all think? I think I want to do some white ears. Especially because we have the colorful background. I think the white would be nice. Yeah, I do seal them. I like to seal all my stuff. I'll tell you why. It's always nice to do that because, and I like just a matte sealer. I don't like anything too glossy. But once you seal it, it really brings out the richness of the colors. When you leave it just the paint itself, it's fine. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you put that little bit of sealer on there, it really brings out the colors a lot nicer and you can really see them. I wish I had 2 pieces here. I can actually, next time I'll show you what it looks like with the sealer and without the sealer, because I do have some here like that. So the next time I do a workshop next week, I'll try and have those close by so you can see the difference, because it really does make a huge difference, and it just protects your painting a little bit too. Like, I mean, it should be fine, but you know, if it's one that you really want to keep, you don't want it to get scratched off or damaged any. Sorry, I'm concentrating hard. I tried to straighten that up a little bit. Yeah, it's not mandatory, Jan, but like I said, I do like to seal mine. If it's something that I know I'm going to be keeping to put on my own wall, I like to seal them. And like I said, I'm not a fan of glossy sealers. I just like matte, just something to protect it. Or even semi, you know, nothing too shiny though. All right, let's dry our inner ears. I'm liking that. I love that pink. Yeah, swipe right, get rid of those comments. Sometimes there's a little arrow at the bottom too. You see on mine, I have my my phone up here, but you can see that little arrow right there in the left hand corner. If you click that, it'll bring those right down and then they'll disappear. Depends on your phone or if you're on a tablet, I'm not exactly sure. You're welcome, Mercedes. I know it can be annoying because you can't see the whole thing. All right, so we're gonna have to put another coat of pink on there. But like I said, I'm gonna do some white ears. So let's get a little coat of white on there. We might have to do a couple coats of white. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add a smidge of gray into my white, just for coverage. And then I can add some little white hairs. So let's do like a really light gray. Alrighty, let's get some new white and just a smidge of gray in it. Do you have an iPad, Judy? Because I think you can do Telegram on iPad. Pretty sure you can. I wanted that to be even lighter gray, so I'm just going to add a little more white in there. I really want to turn this canvas, but I don't think I have the room to do it. I'm not sure if, can you not do Telegram on laptop? We'll check that out for you. Yes, you know where to find me. It's just, like for times when FB goes down, if I need to tell you something, if I have something alive planned and there's an outage like that, I can let you know when I'm rescheduling or, just announcing stuff. And I think it was Sue that asked me, can we chat on there? Absolutely. You can, we can chat on there in between, if you have questions or anything like that. It's basically like a texting service, but on a different, like on its own platform. So if you want to have a chat on there, you can. Like, I mean, chat amongst yourselves too. Like, it's all good. That's what it's for. Kind of like an open chat room. Thank you, Cecile. So I'm just getting this kind of mixture of gray and white on here. Again, I'm not sure if I want to leave it this color. We're gonna put this on here and we're gonna see how it looks. I'm not sure yet if I'm loving it. Hard to tell until we get all of our shading and things on here. So I probably should just go with it and hope for the best. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think you can use laptop or whatever for a telegram. I'm pretty sure you can. I quite like it. It's a free platform too. You don't have to pay anything. Unlike my other texting service that I had to pay quite a bit a month to keep that. That's why I kind of shut it down because it just it was costly, and I thought, why not just go to the free program, and it works just fine. So I'm just kind of mixing these two colors, the white and the gray, together as we base coat. So far so good. We'll blend in a little darker graphite as a shade on this, I think. And then it'll just be dark enough that I can maybe add some little white hairs if I want to. We'll see where this goes. Like I said, I haven't painted this before either. So as Judy says, it's Wing It Wednesday. We're just going with it and seeing what happens. Forgive me for my reach because this canvas is longish. Bugs Bunny, yeah. When's the last time you watched Bugs Bunny? You ask the kids today if they know what Bugs Bunny is. They don't even know who that is. So missed out on some great childhood memories they did. I mean, who doesn't love Bugs Bunny? Make this one a little more pointy. No, they don't, do they, Carolyn? I couldn't even tell you the cartoons that are on right now. I know when I was at my daughter's place, she has the wildest cartoons on for that little girl. I'm telling you, I don't even have a clue what that child is watching. She's very in tune to them though. Like she loves to watch her cartoons. She gets right into them, but I have no idea what I'm watching. I don't even know those shows. I'll have to get better at knowing all those things. I'm out of the loop. My youngest is 18, and my oldest, Alyssa's my oldest. She's going to turn 34 soon. And the youngest is 18, and I have a middle one that's 31. So we're kind of past the whole cartoony thing. So now I have to get back into it with Poppy. The Australian show. See, I wouldn't have a clue. What shows would they be? See, I have no idea. My kids watched, my oldest two watched Barney and Teletubbies and like even Sesame Street when I was a kid was like the thing. When my kids were little, Sesame Street was just pretty much coming to an end too. I don't think kids even watch that anymore, do they? Is it even on anymore? I don't think so. All righty. We'll get this dried and then we'll start working on a little bit of shading and whatnot. Oh yes, and Mr. Rogers. I mean, my sister watched Mr. Rogers a lot when she's a little bit like 4 years younger than me. But yeah, we watched that when we were kids too. I mean, that's because we only had a couple channels. Back in the day, we only had 4 channels to watch. Not like today. There's a plethora of television out there. You remember the days when there was only 4 channels and you had to turn the rotor to turn your aerial? Do you remember those days? Look at me dating myself. They were the best days, though. The best. All right, we have a couple ears here now. I got a little bit of white on my pink bunny ears. My pink centers, I mean. Yes, there was no remotes. Oh my goodness. You remember even like a lot earlier when we were really young, I can remember the rabbit ears on top of the TV. Like we're talking back early 70s. You had to situate and my dad would put tinfoil on them so we get better reception. Holy smokes, really dating myself. Yes, big cabinet TVs. Yes, your parents would make you get up and change the channel for them. For sure. And don't anybody talk when the hockey game's on, or you were in big trouble. Yeah, super sure. A good whack on the side. Yep, absolutely. Fun times. All right, I'm just getting another coat of the pink on here in the center, and then I'm going to start blending in a little bit of shading on these. They're pretty bland right now. Oh yeah, the tinfoil. There's my sister right there. She can attest to what I'm talking about. There you go. Yeah, back in the day. Oh, yeah, for sure they would be, Tiffany. They don't have a clue. For sure. All the technology that is here today, like, okay, what color did I just put in there? Dragon fruit. I got a little dragon fruit. I use this on the background, but I'm just kind of blending in a little bit into this pink here. So this will be our shade, and I might even go a little bit darker with this, other than the dragon fruit, but we'll see how this looks first. So this is kind of just wet on wet. I'm just blending this in the edges. Oh yeah, Jan, that's right. The rainbow screen. Remember at what time was it? Um, oh my gosh, we laughed about those commercials. Do you know where your children are? I don't know what time that would come on, like 10 o'clock or something like that. But then at the end of the night, at midnight or something, all broadcasts would stop. And you would get that screechy noise and the rainbow colors. Not like today, you can get TV 24/7, but not then. It would shut down. Yeah, that's so true, Angie. Remember that microwave? It was a powerful bugger too, though. It was probably the best microwave ever. It lasted forever. Cost Dad an arm and a leg too, because it was one of the first ones out. They thought they were all high tech, getting a new microwave. Rotary phones, yeah. Like if you put a rotary phone in front of a kid today, Tiffany, like I think you would howl laughing because they wouldn't even know what to do with it. It's like, what? How do you call people with this thing? What would you do? Like, yes, the stores used to be closed on Sundays. Yeah, and we didn't care. Like, I mean, we just it was we knew that's the way it was. I'm gonna grab a little bit of razzleberry. I'm gonna see if I can darken this down just a little bit. I'm gonna get a darker pink. Yeah. Tell me there's not someone out here that didn't use their microwave for a bread box at some point in time. Maybe still do. So this is razzleberry. I think I like the little bit of darker pink in here instead of the dragon fruit. That's a little bit brighter. I like that. All right, so we're going to do the other one too. Do they even have payphones anymore? No, they don't have those. I mean, I don't think I've seen one in ages. I don't get out much either, though, so I don't really know. So I'm just putting a second coat of the blush pink on this ear. And again, I'm just doing a little bit of wet on wet blending. Yeah, the collect calls, and then, you know, hopefully the person on the other end would accept the charges or you were stranded wherever you were. Have you ever had someone not accept the charges and then you're like, what the heck? Thanks for nothing. My sister is, if she's still on here, I can remember our dad used to get so mad at us because we lived in the country and everywhere was long distance where we lived. Like, I mean, literally all of our friends lived in, not that far away, but where they lived was still where we went to high school was like, it was still long distance. So we would get in so much trouble for running up the phone bill. And he would limit our time on there. Or we would take the phone down the hall. It had this super long cord, and when he thought we were on there quite long enough, he'd start pulling on the cord, and you'd be like kind of crawling up the hallway with the phone and receiver in your hand going, yeah, okay, I gotta go. Yeah, okay, bye. Because your dad was like pulling the phone towards him. All right, get off it. All right, so I'm not sure if this is as dark as the one on the left, so I'm just going to keep building this up until I get it there. I over blended it a bit. All right. Now I got a lot of pink on my brush here. I'm just going to work that into here. And we'll flip this back around. And then I'm going to put a little white on the inner sides, but I need to get some of this paint off my brush first. I'm just reading your thing, Sue. Oh, so she wouldn't accept the charges, but she just knew that you were there. Okay. That's, you know what? That is like genius. Yes, Aunt Joyce's party line. Angie, my sister, yeah, my sister says my aunt had that party line and it was so funny. God bless her. She would sit there and listen in on, she was like Mrs. Kravitz. She would listen in on people's conversations, and then she would turn around and say that the neighbors do it to her all the time. But I caught her many times listening into what was going on that party line. So I'm just going to introduce a little bit of white in here on this side. Love that woman to death, though. She was just something else. But yeah, she had one of those old party lines. She did it too, Angie, didn't she? She would listen in like Mrs. Kravitz. Nosy old bird she was. Had to know the gossip. All right, so a little bit of white on there. I'm just going to put a little bit more in here. And then we'll start working on the outer parts of these ears. Now, once we get these ears in place and how we like them, we can start on our flowers down below the ears there. You know, and I don't have to muck around with these too much. I don't know why I am. I'm just enjoying this conversation. See, Jan, there's another thing. Mrs. Kravitz. You knew who Mrs. Kravitz was. Us old people know who Mrs. Kravitz is. And if you said that to any kid today, they'd be like, Mrs. Who? I call everybody that's nosy Mrs. Kravitz. We all did what, Ange? What did we all do? Come on. Oh, yeah, there's always that one neighbor, um, Sue, that had to know everything that was going on. Always. I think that's still true now, though. In this day and age, there's always that one neighbor that still has to know everything that's going on. Hilarious, Deanna. Oh my goodness. Mrs. C. Yeah. Yeah. If only they got outside a little bit more instead of just exercising their fingers. All right, so let's get a little bit of shading on. I'm going to dry these centers first because I'm going to use a little bit of, I got some graphite here. So it's not really black. It's kind of like a really dark gray. I'm going to use that for a bit of shading on my outer ears here. Oh, you got one right beside you, Shell. Sue. Nice. Well, she'll keep you on the straight and narrow. Make sure you're not getting into any trouble. All right. Let's make sure that's good. Okay. So let's get a little bit of this graphite color. Heck, I just had it there. So this is just a little more subtle than using black down here. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of that gray and white and wet this down here on this edge. And we'll bring in some of that graphite. All right, let's get some of that graphite happening. Using my paper towel. All right, so I got some white mixed in there somehow. All right, so we'll bring in some of that. And I'm not really worried about finishing off these bottoms too much because I'm going to have flowers covering down here. Just blending some of this in. Of that darker color just to get a little contrast in here. I'm just trying to get it as close as I can to that pink area. Okay, so you can see that kind of changed the whole look. We're going to add some white highlights to this too. I'm just going to flip this around. Sorry for the flipping, but it's just easier for me to reach this long canvas by flipping here. So I want to get some of that darker stuff along that edge too. And then we can highlight with a bit of white. All right, so let's bring in some of that lighter stuff again, just to lighten up that harsh edge. Okay. All right, so let's put some highlights. I like the graphite too, just because the black just, sometimes it's fine, but I mean, I like to use this one just because it's not as harsh as the black. Yeah, I know, I just don't like flipping it so much. You guys might get all dizzy with me flipping, but it's just this canvas is so long that I have to. So I'm just going to grab some white and we're going to just put some on this edge here. And I'm not being like super particular about this. I don't mind that, you know, they're a little bit, they're not traditionally painted in. I like that they kind of got some blendy colors in here. I'll just put some of that white up here. All right, and I think I'm going to leave it at that, but I'm going to now fix this one up. And we'll do sort of the same thing. So let's grab some of that light gray and white, and we'll just get it wet in here and bring some of that gray up the sides. And we'll get these ears done, and we'll start working on that. I have to flip again, sorry guys. And we'll get working on those flowers. All right, so let's just get that wet. We'll get some of that graphite happening. And I mean, you can paint your ears however you want. I mean, if you want to paint them traditionally and float your edges, I mean, by all means do that. That's totally fine. You know, like you don't have to paint it exactly how I'm doing it. Whatever makes you happy or whatever you're comfortable with. I just like sometimes just to do this kind of blending technique. I find it fun. A little bit of that white on here while we're at it. Michael's is treacherous. It is. I like going in there, but oh my goodness, I come out a lot lighter with money than I went in. Can't stop myself. I'm just adding some white here. I haven't been in a long time. I'm trying to stay away from the place because I have enough stuff to use right here without going and buying more. Okay, let's do this side. And get some graphite. I also got some soft black the last time. I had run out of that a long time ago. And it's nice sometimes to use the soft black color too, rather than just black itself. Oh, Carolyn, that's dangerous. 3 minutes from you. Mine's not as convenient. It takes about 20 minutes to get to mine, which is just enough to deter me if, you know, I don't feel like driving all the way up there, is what I'll say to myself. But it's in the same town I work in, so I stop there normally after work or whatnot. So that's the thing. Okay, let's put some white on here and blend these down. Now I think my one on the right might be a bit darker than the other. I'm feeling, but we're going to move on. I'm just mucking with these ears far too much, far too long. We need to make some flowers happen down here. I'm talking too much and messing around with these ears too much. So I'm just going to grab a little more bright white and put it up here at the top of my ears. And let me just see what's happening here. Yeah, that one on the right is a bit darker. Maybe on this left side I'll darken it up just a smidge and then I'll be done. Promise. I'll just add a little more graphite over here. Stop messing around. See, it's taken me an hour to do background and paint ears. Ridiculous. What in the heck? All right, maybe that'll be better. It's staying just like that. All right, I'm cleaning my brush out. My ears are not twins, no. But that's okay. We're going to leave them. We're going to leave them for now. We're going to put some flowers on here. What was the green I used on the background? The green was Hauser Light Green. That's the one I used. Oh, I know. I wish we did have a Hobby Lobby, Cecile. I really do. I've never, ever been in one. I don't go to the States often, even though I'm quite close to the border, but I don't go over there that often, so I've never been in one. All right, flowers under our ears, on top of our bunny head. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my trusty pencil because I didn't pre-draw this part. So this is like super winging it. I don't even have a clue what I'm doing yet. But I think I want to put some little sprigs in here first, some greenery. So I'm going to throw a couple of those kind of out like that. Maybe up like this and out this way. So we're going to just do a bit of greenery first, and then we'll put some flowers in right after. So let's do that. Let me get my number 1 round here. I want to get some greens out. So I want to get some Hauser medium, and I already have some light green here. So let's just put that right beside my plate's getting full, but I have my 2 greens now sort of close together. I'm just going to grab kind of a little bit of each on my number 1 round. And I'm just going to continue to dip into that as I paint these little greenery things, whatever you want to call them, stems. You'll get the line drawing. Once I'm finished this, Jan, I'll do a line drawing of it. I want to get a smaller brush than this. I'm not liking that. I'm going to go right to my liner brush. Yeah, I'll make a line drawing of this afterwards. Hopefully it turns out okay. And if not, I'll have to tweak it a little bit, but I just pre-drew my ears, so I haven't really thought about this greenery. So this is all new to me too. So I'm just lining those in. I'm really liking the colors of this whole painting though. I think it's looking pretty nice in that respect. And these are just going to be simple flowers. They're not going to be hard. All right, so let's get our other little sprigs down here. Niagara Falls. on the Canadian side. If I had to go to Niagara Falls one more time in my life, I swear I have been there so many times that I lost count. But I hope you have a great time, Laura. I'm sure you will love it. I live so close, like I'm only a few hours from Niagara Falls, but we as kids, we have relatives there, so in that area, so we saw the falls a lot. You liking that Winging It Wednesday? Okay, we're doing okay, Jen. I think we're doing okay so far. Let's hope I don't muck it up, because I'm kind of liking it too. So these look pretty silly right now, but I want to get these sort of in place. And I mean, we could add a couple more here. We can get crazy. Let's get crazy. Let's just, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these. I'm going to add some leaves to these. So we can add another one in here. Like, I mean, how much greenery you put in there doesn't really, not really going to matter. We can even add a couple little ones in these little holes here. These are just the stems. Okay, so now that we have our stems in place, I'm going to zoom in just a smidge. I'm going to grab my number 1 brush again. Well, it's kind of like if you grow up near those places, Jan, it's like if it's probably like that for people who live near the Grand Canyon, or people who live like any of the 7 wonders of the world. I mean, if they're there with it every day, it's like no big deal. But for tourists, yes, they love it. But when it's so close, like I said, I've seen it a bajillion times. It's lovely. Like, I mean, it really is an amazing thing, but I'm over it. So all I'm doing with these leaves is I'm just taking my number 1 round. I've dipped into both colors, both of these greens, the light green and the medium green. You could even grab some dark green too in there if you wanted to. But all I'm doing is kind of just about 1/4 of an inch out from my stem. I'm just pushing down and then pulling up as I get to the stem. So that's just kind of how I make the greenery. Can you guys see that all right? Am I close enough? And I'll just continue to do that all the way down my stem. And I'm going to do that on all of these. So by putting both colors onto my brush too, it gives the leaf a little bit of contrast, because you have the 2 colors mixing in your leaf. So these ones might not be seen so much once we get our flowers on there, but we're going to do it all the way down anyways, just in case they peek out here or there. And I don't really think about these too much. I just kind of push down, pull up as I get to the stem, and do them relatively quickly. I think the more you think about it and try to be perfect is when you're not going to be. You just slap it on there, girls. Get it on there. All right. So we're well on our way here. We're just going to keep right on going with our greens. And I mean, there's something about when you start adding the greenery, I just think it just changes everything. So anyways, that's just maybe me, and I'm just turning a bit here because I need to reach. Is this zoom in okay for you guys to see? Would you rather me zoom back out, or would you rather it closer while I'm doing this? Like this close. I think the only thing that's really changed over the last bit in Niagara Falls is they have that big casino there now, which I'm not a gambler. And I've never, I think actually that's a lie. I was in that casino one time since it's been built. I'm not one to go to casinos, so not really an attraction for this girl either. I worked too hard for my money to give it away. All right, so we're gonna get these leaves on here, and then we're gonna give this all a good dry before we start adding some flowers in here. So I'm going to put these all along one side, and then I'll go along the other side. I can't push this up anymore because I'm kind of at the end of my table. There we go. And my iPad stand is kind of right in the way. It's a challenge when you have these long canvases. All right, so let's just keep right on rolling. I'm kind of doing this upside down and backwards. So yeah, you're close to Niagara Falls too, eh, Sue? Like how many hours are you away from Niagara Falls? I think we're like maybe 4.5 hours. We're 3.5 from Toronto. But I think it's about another hour or so to get to the falls. Okay, I'm going to back up just a little bit, but I'm liking that greenery. I think it looks pretty on there. Let's just clean this brush out. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of the dark Hauser dark green. Oh, you're only 2 hours away. You're even closer than I am. Way closer. So I'm going to grab some of this dark color, maybe a bit of that light color. And I just have my liner brush. And I'm just going to line in some tinier, I'm not going to put leaves on these ones, but I'm just going to, maybe actually we could put a few little leaves on these. Just for some contrast, we're going to add a few little small sprigs here. We'll go right up over that one. I have a lot of wet paint on here, so I have to be careful. And these will all make sense a little bit more once we get the flowers on here. And really this is just filler, you know, so okay, I'm really pushing it with this wet paint. Okay, let's throw one in here. So we're just kind of laying the background work for our flower arrangement. Okay, so I mean, if you wanted to, you could add a few little tiny leaves to these just with your liner. And like I said, these just kind of act as a little bit of filler in behind here. And I'm just using the Hauser dark green for these leaves. We're going to add some other little dots and things as filler as we get going here, but just kind of showing you what you can do with all this greenery. And then I promise we're going to dry this and get it going for our flowers. We got a lot of wet paint on here. We can add some of these after as well, if we need to add filler after the fact. We can add some. No rules. We can do whatever we want. It's our painting. All right, I think that's good. We got some stuff happening there. Okay, what are we talking about? Whilst I'm drying, I'll catch up. We love this greenery, Inga. It's okay, Nicole. You can always watch the replay. Don't worry. He took a bus all the way up from Alabama to the falls. Did you go on the American side though, Carolyn, or did you come up on the Canadian side? Okay, let's get to drying here. I love the colors too. I think this is just like, this is looking really Eastery, and I love the pastels. Let me just get this whole thing in here so you can have a really good look at it. Oh, you went on the Canadian side. All right, so I kind of want to make sure this is good and dry before I start going silly with flowers. So the flowers, we're just going to do those little swirly circle ones. And we're just going to do multicolor. We're going to do kind of like a colorful bouquet. That's my plan anyway. Let's see how that goes. But so far, so good. I'm really kind of liking this painting. And it's not bad for Winging It Wednesday, Judy. We're doing all right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my number 4 round. Yes, I am. And I'm just going to start right here in the center. I think I'll grab, what should I do? Maybe a purple one. Let's grab some purple and some white. We'll bring it down to like a mauve color. And I'll just mix enough of it so I have it here. All right, so let's just do our little circle right there. We're literally, that's all we're doing. We're doing a little circle of paint. I'm going to grab some of that darker purple. Maybe I'll make that one a little bit bigger. Grab some of that darker purple and we're just going to swirl it in there. Like, these are super easy flowers and it's still going to be pretty. Trust it will be pretty. I'm just going to wipe my brush off over here and get rid of some of that purple. I'm going to grab some of that white and I'm just going to swirl some of that in too. Now I'm going to outline these a little bit when they're dry, but I just want to get these kind of 3 colors happening in there, and then I'm going to leave it to dry, and we're going to move on to the next flower. So that's simple, easy peasy. Okay, so next one, let's grab some of this bright pink. I think this is dragon fruit. We can even throw in some of that raspberry. Why not? Because we can. And just mix up a funky pink over here. We'll just use what's left on our plate so we don't waste paint. So let's throw one right here. And I mean, they don't have to be completely circular. I mean, if you want to get a little crazy and make it a little misshapen, like to make it look more like a rose or something, you know, do that. It's good. So let's grab, I want to get some of that razzleberry. Let's throw that in there. I got a glare here. I'm trying to see it. Grab a little more of that razzleberry. But super easy. Super easy. So we're going to take some of that excess off our brush, grab some of that white. So let's just mix a little of that in there to highlight. If it gets too white and you don't like it, mix it down a little bit. But that's good. I'm happy with that. All right, we're cooking. We got 2 flowers. Now, what should we do next? A blue one? Why not? We got some blue here. I think I even still have some pink on my brush. So it's going to be a fun color of blue. Let's put one up in here. I got a little bit of that turquoise. I need a darker blue. I need a darker blue. Let me get some darker blue. I got some deep midnight blue here. Right there. I just need a darker contrast. So let's get some of that on there. Get some of that off there. I'm going to mix up some of that light stuff again. Sorry, I'm mixing and doing it at the same time. Plate in hand. Okay, now let's bring in some of that dark stuff there. And then we're going to bring in some white. The blue's not complying. All right, we'll get it. Okay, and then I'll clean that off a little bit, and then we'll grab some white and we'll throw some highlights in there. So far, so good. What do you think? You're okay with it so far? All right, I think over here I'm gonna put another one of these little pink ones. And I might even break out some yellow to put over in here. Like I said, I want this to be like a really colorful bouquet. Yeah, it's recorded, yeah. So let's put another pink one here. And we'll grab some of that razzleberry. I need some more razzleberry. Okay. And for you latecomers, if you are a member of the Paint Party Playground, you'll get this line drawing for free. If you're not a member, I'm going to put up the digital file. So it'll be a minimal cost, but so it'll be a digital download for the template if you want it. All right, that's looking good. And that's that. So if you're a member, you'll get the line drawing free, which I'll put on after, because I didn't have a line drawing because I hadn't really drawn anything except my ears. So I really didn't have anything prepared beforehand because I wasn't really sure exactly where I was going. I kind of had an idea what I was doing, but I wanted to wait until I saw how it turned out first. But I think I'm liking it. I think it's good for you guys if you want to paint one of these. All right, let's see here. I think I want to put a yellow one over here. So I'm going to grab some lemon yellow. I'm really struggling for room on this plate now. getting to be a bit much. So I think I'm going to grab some of that yellow and a little bit of that buttermilk just to, because the lemon yellow is really light, transparent. So I'm just mixing in a little bit of that buttermilk in there just so it can be a little thicker. So let's go right in here. And we may have to dry this and put a second coat on because it's still a little transparent. So let's just dry that a smidge. These are really like thick painted flowers, so it takes a bit to dry. So let's throw some more yellow on here so we can actually see yellow and not blue in there from behind. Ooh, that's looking good. That's looking good. I'm liking this little bouquet. It looks pretty. All right. All right, so let's grab some more of that little yellow there. And I think for our contrast color on this, we could probably use a little bit of our burnt orange. Let me just clean my brush off a little smidge. And we'll just bring in some orange. And then we'll mix our yellow back in. I got too much orange in there. Let's get some more yellow happening. And I think these are kind of like anything else. You just got to fiddle with them a little bit to please yourself until you're happy with how they look. Yep, I think this one's going right on the wall when I'm done. I kind of like this painting. I think we're just going to keep it. We're going to keep it. And we got a little white. It's perfect springy little painting. All right, there we got some white in there. All right, what should we do next? Over here, maybe another little blue one. Let's do, where is that Bahama blue we used? That one's a little dark. I think we're going to use, no, we already have some Bahama blue right here. Look at me talking to myself whilst I'm on a live. Talk to myself right out of it. Yeah, you'll be able to watch the replay for sure. It'll be here. So let's put a big old blue one right here. And then we'll grab a little bit of that deep midnight blue. Okay. And I think I'm going to put another little yellow one right here, and then I'm going to stop. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. We'll see where that goes. I just want to grab some white for in my blue flower here. All right, let's put another little yellow guy down here. A burnt orange one? Is that what you're saying to me, Inga? A burnt orange one? We can do an orange one. Oh, heck yeah. Let's do it. We'll tone it down just a smidge, though, because it might be just too much. I don't know, it went more peachy than orange. But we can use the burnt orange for some contrast in it. Oh, well, she got an orange flower anyway. That's hilarious. We'll put some white in here because we'll put another little yellow one over there. Um, but I think I don't mind that there. I think I like the orange there, even though that wasn't for me. Okay. All right, let's put this little yellow one in here. What do you think? Should I add another little something something over here? Let's let that one dry for a second. I don't know, maybe another little blue tiny one over here. And then we'll stop because I think we kind of get the idea, and I think that's enough flowers. And we'll get these dried. Let's get this blue one done. Yeah, we're going to put some baby's breath in there too, for sure. Yeah, we're going to add a little bit of white sprigs in here, I think, just to break up the color. We're going to bring some little bit of greenery in between these two. But I think that's enough flowerage. We're going to stop there with the flowers. I just want to add my little white highlights on this one. Getting into some pink there for some reason. We're going to mix more of this in here. I'm going to grab a little orange. And then we'll grab some white to highlight that one. And then we're going to dry this whole dang thing because we got a lot of wet stuff happening here. All right, let's do that. I'm liking it too, Jan. It's looking so cute. Alrighty, let's get our flowers dried so we can add a little bit of outline on them. And add some greenery sort of in. I'm going to add a few little leaves kind of poking in through here. And then we're going to add some white baby's breath and dots and things through here. But I think that's, you know, that's not overdue. I think we got it good. It's looking good. All right, so as for the outline on the flowers, I'm just going to grab, you know what, I think I'm going to use a little bit of that graphite. I'm not going to go stark black with that because we haven't really introduced any black into this painting and I don't want to do it now. So I'm going to use this graphite color and my liner. And I'm just going to kind of make, you know, little outlines on my, on my flowers just to give them a little dimension. These are whimsical flowers. They're not real flowers, so we can do whatever the heck we want. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you don't want to do this to yours by adding the little squiggles in there and you like them just the way they are, you can stop right where you were. But I kind of like to outline these a little bit because I find that mine get a little lost in the translation because I over blend sometimes. Or under blend some of them. I'm not, that's why I kind of like these flowers because there really is no rules with them. You can do whatever the heck you want. They're so super easy to do. All right. Okay. I like them outlined too. Okay, so let's grab a little bit of our greenery in here. So let's grab our greens. I'm just going to mix all three sort of on my brush. And I'm just going to bring some leaves up into the center, you know, kind of in between our flowers a little bit. And this just adds dimension. Again, it just makes it look like things are in front of things and not all kind of flat. So this just adds that little bit of extra in there. Get some lighter green in here. All right, that's good enough. And now let's add some white flowers. So all we need to do really for this, we don't have to add any more greenery, but what we can do is just take some fresh white because I have mine mixed with everything. Is we can kind of take these little darker green sprigs that we already put on there and we can kind of just add some dots along those just as a little baby's breath in there and just add those right to that sprig that we already introduced earlier. I just put some white dots kind of along the edge of it. And I'm just using my liner brush just to add these. You can use your stylus if you want to. And I mean, even in here, like, I mean, if you want to add some little white dots throughout, just to add some extra texture in there and just that baby's breath kind of poking out, do that. You know, there's no dang rules. What I kind of like about it. Do whatever the heck you want. But that's a bouquet. Holy smokes. Okay. So, how did you like, what did Judy call it? Winging it Wednesday. We winged it. We certainly did wing it. I hope you enjoyed this one. This one was a fun one. I'm liking it myself. Thanks, Connie. You gonna give some a whirl? Gonna give some bunny ears a whirl? It was fun, Cecile. I enjoyed this one very much. So also, like, up in here, you know, like, you can add, just keep adding your little white dots in here on your greenery just to, you know, it'll just as contrast. Add it wherever you like. All right, I'm calling it done because I like it just the way it is. I love the background. I love the ears. The gray ears turned out fantastic. I'm glad I went with the gray and not just white. And, you know, the flowers, easy peasy, but it's a lovely bouquet. Turned out good. I'm just going to dry this a smidgen and then I just want you to see the whole thing here. There we go. I like it too. So I'll have the line drawing. I'm hoping I'll get it done tonight. I have a few packages to package up to get out in the mail, but I will get this one up there for you and you can give it a whirl yourself. And don't worry, the replay will always be here, so you can just refer back to my replay here for how to do your background and all that good stuff. Voila. There you have it. There you have it. All right, ladies, that wasn't so bad either. We've been doing pretty good for timing wise on our workshop Wednesdays. Thank you, Terry. You too. Okay, let me just get my face back up here. I'll throw my mug back in there. But yeah, we've been doing pretty good for timing wise too. So, okay, in between all the talking, great conversation tonight too. It was lots of fun, you guys, reminiscing about old times. But yeah, thanks, Ange. You gonna give one a try? Give one a whirl. You're welcome, Cecile. All righty. Yeah. So again, we never know what's going to happen on Wednesdays around here. I don't know what we're doing next Wednesday. It could be another wing it night, but wing it nights are fun. See, they turn out pretty good sometimes. Sometimes they're fails, sometimes not so much. But this one turned out pretty darn good. Yeah, we all have many on the go, Ange. All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. And don't forget to sprinkle this out there for the world to see if you want to. And also, if you're not you don't follow my page already, make sure you give the page a follow. Oh, that's good. I'm glad I kept you out of trouble, Sue. That's always good. Somebody has to keep you out of trouble. All right, ladies, thanks again for hanging out, and we'll see you all soon. Have a good night.